Hi, I'm Kern Cherry, Butts in the Seat Queen, and I am here to talk to you about creating your own door. How many of you have had ideas that come in your head and you think, I'm going to share this with my boss? And then when you do, they look at you like, thanks, but no thanks. And in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I know that was a great idea. I know it would work. But at the same time, you're thinking, well, you know what? Let me just mind my business and I'm thankful I got a job. And so let me just keep pressing on. Well, for me, many times on the job, I would have many ideas that would pop up in my head. And I would think, I know this is a good idea, but my thoughts when it would come to my mind was, you know what, let me just do my 8 and hit the gate. But then one day I saw the owner come in the company and she came in the rehab room. I was working as in occupational therapy at the time. And I was thinking, this is my opportunity. So let me go up to her and share this idea, which I did. When I approached her, I said, I know y'all spend a lot of money flying in therapists from around the world and hiring them. And so what if you sent your managers to the nearby colleges and recruited some of the top college people that were in occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapists, right? And she looked at me like, yeah, as to give me a pat on my head, like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. And so at that point, I was like, okay, well, I tried. Let me just go back to my job and mind my business. Again, as I said, my goal was just to help that person. In your mind, you're thinking, I have this opportunity that might get me a seat at the table, that may get me a potential promotion. And so I'm like, I know that was a good idea. But at that time, she was like, yeah, not so much, right? So that being said, again, I go back and start doing my job. And as I said before, minding my business. And God just has a funny way of showing you where he wants you to be. And after that time, a couple approached me and my husband and asked, she really enjoyed how my husband worked with her husband. So she offered us a job opportunity, one that was paying us at the time, and it's been all 20 something years ago. She offered us $10 an hour. And I was thinking, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. And me being a Southerner, of course, I wouldn't tell her that, but we were gracious and we were making so much more than that at the time. So we just continued working. And what we found out is that the owners who I had approached before actually had their own plan for us. And they were planning to actually redo our contract and offer us much less than we were making. And my husband and I at that point decided, well, it is time to go ahead and start our own business. See, I had never thought about that before, to create my own business. But once that opportunity approached us, then we decided to step out and start our own business, our staffing business, which is now PRN Home Care 24 years later. So how many of y'all are still playing safe? How many of you are just thinking, I'm going to help this person build their millions, build their empire. And maybe in the midst of that, I will have a seat at the table. How many of you are still playing in the safe zone? Well, see, the time is now to create your own. The time is now for you to step out and for you to create your own opportunity, even if you are still working on a 9-to-5 job. You can create your own opportunity. See, that company that I approached and that supervisor, that owner, eventually, some years later, a few years later, Medicare, as the government at the time, Medicare decided to sweep through the nation, and there was a blanket layoff of all of the occupational therapists, physical therapists, and speech therapists. You see, that owner eventually took the same idea that I gave her then and took it for herself. And she was doing the exact same thing that I had suggested, right? But at this point, they were now in survival mode. They were trying to survive a time where there was no more money as it was before. You see, sometimes you need to step out and create your own. And that's exactly what my husband and I did. That being said, are you ready to do just that? And what does it take to be a person who creates their own opportunity? What are some of the things that you need to do so that you can create your own door to opportunity? So the first thing you want to do is change your mindset. Check your mindset. Next, another thing is be a person who looks for and moves on opportunity. Number 3, stop overanalyzing and waiting for the right time to be a person who makes quick decisions. I often say, women, we tend to sit on things much longer than we should. So this is one of those times where you need to act quicker. 4, be determined and driven to get out of that safe spot, right? You want to step out and walk in your own faith. Walk in your own faith and courage. And 6, be resilient and persistent, and definitely be willing to pivot, as you've seen many people do in recent years. Another thing is to broaden your horizon. Stop swimming, as I often say, stop swimming in your backyard. Now it's time to take a dive into the global ocean. That's right, expand yourself out. Expand your contacts. If you expand out into the global ocean, you will surely expand your possibility for profitable collaborations. Use the World Wide Web, which is global now. Y'all, if you hadn't realized that, we're in a global market. Everybody is online. And you want to make sure, think about this. The reason why you want to reach out into more of the global market, many people out there are well-traveled. Maybe not the people in your backyard, but there are many of them that are. And it is a proven fact that people who have traveled more have a broader range of thinking. So the other thing you want to do is make a plan. Make a plan. So I encourage you to get your notepad out or your journal or whatever you're doing and start writing down your plan. Every year you should take time to write out what your plan is for the following year. Many people do this towards the end of the year, starting in September, October. Some people do it right in the beginning of the year, January. But make sure you make a plan. Write your goals down, and then write out what you want the outcome to be. As you often hear me also say, closed mouths don't get fed. So if you don't write it down and say it out loud, it's probably not going to happen. Then you want to also write down not just your short-term goals, but your long-term goals. Where do you want to be at? So where do you want to be at in the first 6 months? In addition to where on that same goal do you want to be in the next 5 years? So now that you have a plan and you've written it out, it is time to take action and stop waiting for opportunity. Create your own opportunity. It is time to stop living other people's dream. Focus on making and stop focusing on making other people rich and planning to play safe. It is time to step out into your destiny and create your own door to opportunity. So I'm Kern Cherry, Kern Crockett Cherry on Facebook. If you want to find me on Facebook, one of my favorite place now is Clubhouse under Kern Cherry. You can also find me on my second favorite place, LinkedIn. In addition, Twitter, Instagram. I'm also on Pinterest and Snapchat, TikTok, many other places. But reach out to me. And if not, the easiest way to find me is go to kerncherry.com, kerncherry.com. I often teach on creating your own profitable events and creating your own, increasing your visibility. So go to kerncherry.com. I am Kern Cherry, and thank you